Hi there guys, so I'm back here with another vlog here with Zan. Come on. It's been a while and this time around we are just around a few seats from where we usually film, which is the other side. So we're in the same spot here, McDonald's, and in this video I want to dive straight into the Somali language. Zain has been looking it up and he's been doing his work for the last few months, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been, finding Somali friends to talk to, learning stuff like warrior and Seta.
That's one of the first words, people learn. It's usually like warrior, naya, and of course a few swear words. I don't know why people, like, whenever you ask them to learn a language, they'll teach you from, the worst part, like a swear word or just something inappropriate. I think that's the funny side to each language. And warrior himself, if you start with that word, it means, like, I can't say oi for warrior,
like,
but
hey bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's saying hey bro is like saying warrior.
Yeah.
So warrior, naya is just calling people out. So it's on the aggressive side of the language, but I still think it's a neutral language. What's your take on Somali language?
It's quite beautiful actually. They got a lot of sounds. Like my favorite word is sah. Yeah, I love that word. That means that's right. It just sounds so nice. Like,
it's more like a chilled language that includes a little touch of Arabic with a bit of, I think, Indian language as well. So when it comes to like snow, in the Somali language we say baraf. And that's the same thing for, Indian language. And we say other things like, okay, if I look at the food side, we eat, halwa as a dessert. Is that Arabian? Is that...
Yeah, I think it's probably like Arab. Yeah, I'm not sure though. I don't really go to Arab restaurants and there's not much around.
Exactly. Because, Somalia, northern part of it is close to Yemen. I think it's a Silk Road, long ago that besides trading spices, they also traded language maybe. And Somalia got to adopt a few of those words and just become sort of a global sort of dictionary. Sorry for that noise, it is a bit noisy right now. But as I was saying, it does entail few, words stolen from here and there. And if you look onto the football organization, Somalia is in the Arab League as well, so maybe there's a touch of Arab influence. But I think Zayn knows a bit more in terms of the language and history. I know how to speak it better, I presume. But give us some history if you know anything about it.
Yeah, well, Somalia, they had an empire in the past, and actually I only found out because you told me about it. But they did get colonized by Britain and Italy, and they got split up. And that's one of the main reasons they have a big conflict with Somaliland right now.
Yeah, so that's true. Somalia was colonized by Italy. I think it was around 1960 when they gained independence from Italy, and Somaliland were colonized by England, and they gained independence around the same time. So it's a bit strange to have two different countries colonize one country. Usually it's just, if a country's being colonized, they'll speak one language, like majority of Africa, if I'm right, is French.
Yeah, I think so. French or British.
Yeah.
Some of it's German as well.
Yeah. So whenever you colonize a country, if you look at the world history, you'll always leave a bit of the tradition, a bit of the culture there as well with the people. And something that we inherited from the Italians that I'm not really mad about is spaghetti, We call it pasta.
That's a good outcome of colonialism.
Exactly. They could have left anything else, like, sense of, fashion, style, stuff like that, which they did, but not as much as food. So we took the pasta, we took some of the... There's another dish, I don't know off the top of my head now, but food is something big that was influenced by the Italians. And whenever it comes to the education part, around that window of 10 years just prior to the independence, so in the 50s, a lot of the Somalis received scholarships to go to Rome, to go to Napoli to study and stuff like that. And it did give the country a lot of opportunities from prior to that. Before that, they sort of were just natural people that come from their country, did everything internal. It was still productive and cultural, but when you give it that twist, and I can't really say that support that they needed, but giving people a new idea, new opportunities, will be able to educate the people and in turn do better as a nation. So if we go back to the language itself now, so when it comes to Somali, I always wondered how it sounds to people outside. So because I'm a native speaker here, to me just it sounds natural to my ears, to my tongue. But watching videos online, especially movies that always stereotype things, they always make noises of like noises at the back of the throat, like when they just imitate and try to take the piss. So I always wondered, is that what it sounds like to people? So let me ask Zain here, does Somali sound like another African language to you, or does it sound more like Arabic tonish?
It sounds a bit like Arabic, but there's a mix of African in there. Like, it's very diverse, I just like that. I just like how Somali sounds. I like the Arab sound.
It gives it that a bit more emphasis on the words. Like when you tell somebody, don't you dare, like somebody's about to do something. In Somali we say ar, ar. You see?
I love that word.
We make that little, that A come from here and the R roll out the tongue like ar.
Yeah, I love the word Adoma Fiatla. Adoma Fiatla.
Yeah, say again.
Adoma Fiatla.
Adoma Fiatla.
Yeah. I love that.
So a lot of the words, like the natural A, like apple, we don't call apples with the Somali A, but you know what I'm trying to say, A. We make that noise for the letter A as in ar. If I say normal, I'd say adi. So it would come more from the bottom. And this is something with the whole region, just the whole Africa, the Middle East, things like that. People use a bit more of the front part of the tongue, and especially in southern part of Africa, they'll make these noises. If you watch on YouTube, you see the tribal sort of people that live in southeast, if I'm correct. And I can give you like a tribe that I've been watching online called the Hadza tribe, and they've got names that have a ring to them. So like, that those videos that circulate online. So if you have a look at that aspect and the northern Middle Eastern section, they tend to have the Arabic language, but they've got their own twists in each region. So if you combine that, you'll have, I think, something close to the Somali language. And our close neighbors is the Swahili language, Kenya. So with the Swahili language itself, I think it's more of the natural Arabic tone, but because we're geographically located closer to the Middle East, we'll have the perfect balance of both worlds. So if I ask you, do you think we're close to the Swahili dialect or pronunciation here, the Somali language?
Well, I don't know. I never learned Swahili, so I don't know.
Okay.
Never heard it.
Yeah. So I know words like Akuna Matata, the famous word, and other words like there's quite a few words, but it's more like African words. So the word Somali itself, so if you take a look into it and dissect the word, it means Somal. It means go and basically extract the milk, if I can put it in English here. So because Somalia used to have a lot of camels, which it still does, and it was a route of Silk Road years ago, a lot of the people and merchants would pass by Somalia and they'll stop by for tea and stuff like that. So it's called Shah in the Somali language. And that's the reason why the capital city is called Mogadishu. I can't really connect the dots here, but there's a clear connection with a place of rest and refuge for when people travel between Africa and Middle East or Asia, that they'd rest in Mogadishu for Shah, and then came the capital city's name, Mogadishu. But there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm sure we can touch on this in more depth in another time. But if I ask you, Zain, is there anything else that might interest you in the Somali language or anything you want to add to it?
No, bro. Like Somali people are some of the kindest people. They don't deserve like all this hate they're getting on social media. But it's just because like people have got a narrative they want to chase, and when you got a narrative you want to chase, you kind of throw people under the bus. So if you're hearing things about Somali people, you should go and meet them, see if it's true or not. If it's true, then it's true, and then you come to that conclusion. But at least don't base things on social media. Because before I met this guy, obviously I like the Somali language, but now he's just amplified that to show me that Somalis are actually cool people.
Thank you, bro. And that's some wisdom words, there's some wisdom behind it, and I say that because a lot of the time we judge things on people and just different things we haven't really experienced or touched upon. And it's much wiser to give your view after you've once seen it. So as he said, we should never be hasty to just label some random group of people. So we can understand that somebody could unfortunately represent a whole lot of people in a bad way, but doesn't mean the rest are like that. So that goes for me as well, and it's good to have a neutral lens until you finally live that. But without any further ado, it is a big topic and we'll touch up on it another time. But please subscribe, and if you don't know, I just uploaded the 100th vlog not long ago on my channel, and this will be
The 100th.
100 vlogs.
So this is the 101st, yeah?
101.
Wow, damn. I feel honored.
Yes, as you should. So we'll catch you guys on the next part, and until then, take care.
Bye-bye.
Keep exploring. And do you want to add a Somali word to end it?
Nobody. Nobody means goodbye.
No, exactly. And I'll add mine. Mad Sunny, lads.
Mahad Sunny.
Take care.